Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Flags in a Gym, a podcast dedicated to all things Colorguard. Today's episode is all about complaining. It's about letting all those annoyances out, venting, getting everything off your chest. So we're going to talk about Colorguard pet peeves today. And joining me is a very good friend of mine, so a special guest host today. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody?
Hey, everybody. I am Stephanie Collins. I have been teaching color guard for over 20 years in the Northern Virginia area. My expertise, I would say, is regional A group and rising those babies on up. But I'm really excited to be here. And thanks for the opportunity, Eric.
Of course, and don't sell yourself short. You've had many students that go on to march World Guards and even win Independent World marching. So,
So,
everybody's got to start somewhere. And honestly, having a good instructor when you first start is the most important.
that's true. That's true. Thank you.
But yeah, Stephanie and I have been teaching for a very long time, and we have compiled our lists, and we're going to discuss our pet peeves. And these are in no particular order except this one. I am going first because this is my number one, and it drives me absolutely crazy. And it is kids cheering only for the boys. So you're watching a color guard show, and a girl comes out and she tosses, it's a nice little standard A-class card. She tosses a cute quad, maybe a 5, catches it in a port angle with a little 4-star. Just a really nice catch. And the audience is like, yay, good for you, sweetie. Then a boy comes out, throws this quad that almost takes out a light in the ceiling. He trips over his face trying to catch it. It catches on a half, maybe by the strap, and the girls in the audience go absolutely bananas for him. And it drives me up the wall. Girls don't get the respect they deserve. And it's my number one pet peeve. I'm like, put some respect on these girls that are outspinning the boys.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And and sometimes we have that mentality in our head of this kid, it's a boy. Boys need to be on gun line, but we really don't have to do that. Like you shouldn't do that. It's
Oh,
you're selling yourself short. So one thing that drives me nuts too is let's give the girls some love. I mean, it's the majority of girls out there anyway, but just because it's a boy, we don't need to give that kid love for
I
the
mean,
gender.
everybody deserves love, but let's
100%.
recognize the talent of who's actually pulling things off.
Exactly.
So what do you have?
Okay. Now, I know we're going to have some people listening to this who are just going to laugh because they know me and it's going to be hilarious, but judges, can y'all just shoot me straight? Just tell me what it is. Don't dance around it. And please, for the love, just can you use words that I understand on a regular? Like
Yes.
I don't want to have to bust out a dictionary. Every time I go to critique, I really just, I wish, and again, and this is coming from somebody who is looking to do judges training this upcoming season, but I would love for a judge to be like, you know what? Don't do this, do this, or change that for that, and you'll be okay. It's like there's some secret code that we have to crack when they're giving their tapes or when we're in critique and listening to them talk. It's like just give it to me. You don't have to sugarcoat, you don't have to dance around with fancy words, just give it to me.
Yeah, the judges that use those overly verbose and complex words, I'm like, yo, come on. I used to get tapes from judges that were almost geared towards the performers, like the kids, and I loved those, because they were very, they were a little more remedial, but they were very clear and direct, and I could play them for the kids, and they get what's going on. Like, oh, I get it now, because you as an instructor, you're yelling at the kids, this and that, and this and that, and then you play the judges tape, and you're like, see, this is exactly what I've been telling you.
Yeah.
They saw it too. And with some of these tapes, yeah, you just can't. They're gonna be like, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's again, they have to crack the code. But I wish that things were, to your point, more geared towards the kids. But good Lord, dumb it down for me. Not big words. Like
Not
we
big
use
words.
small vocabulary.
Not big words. All right. So moving on to the next one, heel stretches.
Mm,
No. If you're
mm.
listening and you're thinking about no heel stretches. They are ugly. They are awkward. Nobody needs to see that. We don't need to put that area on display. I'm sorry. And there are other ways to demonstrate your quote unquote dancer's flexibility because, everybody's like, oh, I have a dancer. And it's like, is she really a dancer though? Like, really? Unless you can do some sort of grand battement, like all the way up like a prima ballerina and grab your leg while it's up there, don't do it. They are so
Yeah.
awkward. The reaching down for the foot, the wobbliness, and it's just like, no, please no. And then you have to get out of it, and it's never pretty. Never.
Yep.
So
I
heel
I
stretches, no, find something else to do.
no, 100%. I would rather see like a beautiful tourgiquet or like some sort of leap if your kids can do that. Just something pretty like and unless I don't know, again, to your point, unless they can really stretch it, and it looks good where they're not wobbling all over the place, like a baby flamingo or a baby giraffe,
Yes.
right? It is. It's like a baby giraffe. And here's the thing, and if the music calls for it, sometimes we're doing things and the music does not call for it at all. Like where musically do you hear heel stretch?
And where musically does it sound like she needs to reach down like she's grabbing some lint from between her toes and then trying to hoist her leg up into the air? She's struggling, she's shaking, she can't breathe, and then she has to let go, and her foot just drops like it's 3,000 pounds because she doesn't have the muscle control to hold it up. No, save it for cheerleading. Heel stretches great in cheerleading when they're doing their
100%.
tricks and their stunts and they throw them up in the air, then they're heel stretching. They're down. Great, not in color guard.
Yeah, no, give me pretty leaps all day. Pretty leaps, technique leaps, and we're good to
You want to
go.
show flexibility, incorporate a split somehow, or like you said, like a nice jump. But anyway,
Yeah.
moving on, your turn.
Regional A. Ugh. Regional A is for development. Regional A is for learning how to do color guard inside. It is for instructors learning how to design a show. In Regional A, so many times we see these groups coming out and they're like trying to do all of these fancy tricks. They're trying to do all of this with like choreography that is it's hurting you and it's not helping you. Judges are not judging you based on the fact that your boy tosses a crappy quad or your girl tosses a crappy quad. Because again, you're giving your students something that they're not able to achieve. Now, if they can achieve it, great for you. And if you have a group that is doing that, then you should not be in regional A. Regional A is for your drop spins, your clean turns, your up and overs, your waterfalls. Can your kids do like some simple, cute, pretty footwork? Can you toss a single and a double together on gun? Same thing on saber, but and don't get me started. I love a good swing flag moment. If we want to do swing flags in the gym with regional A, I don't care what class you're in. You want to give me a pretty swing flag feature? Here for it.
Lassiter High
But
School, 1999, I believe, when they had
yeah,
the
I think
when they did like the Persian style show in the sand and they
mhm.
swing flag feature, gorgeous. You can do
Yeah,
swing flags in indoor, you just have to do it right.
100%. And you and I know that because we have done them several years and we've always done it right.
Yeah,
So,
when you have a guard of
um,
20 and 16 of them are brand new, you're like, you know what? Swing flag
swing
feature.
flag feature, 100%. I mean, I did it this past year and we ended up doing really, really well at championships. And that was with our JV team. But regional A is for development, everybody. You do not have the expectation for you to be open class is not there. And if you think that that's it, then get yourself a mentor, call me, email me, whatever you need to do, and I can help you out. But don't put that pressure on your kids and definitely don't put that expectation and pressure on yourself.
Yeah, because Stephanie is the regional A queen. She knows that class and she can write you a regional A show and she will guide you and lead you.
Give me 30 minutes.
And that's
But
the other thing with regional A is I really think regional A, you should really gear it towards fun. You
yes.
see so many of these regional A guards trying to do these serious, I call them the Onyx style shows,
Mhm.
where they're very minimalist, very artsy, that require a crap ton of control and technique that these kids do not have.
Yeah.
Like you said, cones, hourglasses, rows, throwing some cute hops, some turns, some jumps, and put it to a popular soundtrack, easy peasy done.
Yeah, and think about this too, like when you're doing regional A, you're starting out most likely with your program and you want to use indoor to recruit for your outdoor. So you really want to make your show, to your point, lots of fun because likely you're going to be performing it in front of your peers at a pep rally or at eighth grade night when eighth grade kids come in to see what opportunities are for them when they get to high school. Keep that in mind too, is that you have a lot of kids that are coming out and watching this.
Yeah, and beautiful
Yeah.
shows can be amazing, but they
Hmm.
really belong in higher tiers. I mean, let's review
Yeah.
Avon last
Yep.
year. Absolutely
Ugh,
gorgeous show, breathtaking.
top
So
score in
I'm
WGI.
right. Like it doesn't always have to be very, very upbeat, fun, current music. But I think regional A should be like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like you
I
said,
do too.
eighth graders don't want to come to a show and see a bunch of girls running around in dresses to a piano being tuned, or a
Hmm.
violin playing a single note. That's not going to get you interested in color guard. It's not.
Yeah. I mean, the best show that we ever did, it was just so fun and it was clean and the kids got it. And it was just we just went and we did it.
And you kept
And
getting bumped every
we
week.
kept getting bumped every single week.
So just for
It
some
was fun.
clarification, our circuit has regional A broken into two classes, regional A2, because we have a lot of regional A guards in our circuit. So they break it into regional A2, which is like your true beginners. Then you have your regional A1, which should be the advanced of regional A. Then we take A class and break it into three groups: A3, A2, A1. A3 is your starter A's. A1 are usually the guards that are competing at Dayton. Like one of our A1 circuit color guards was Holly Springs, who took bronze medal in Scholastic A this year. So just so when she's talking about, we got bumped so many times, you started in regional A2?
We started in regional A2, and by championships, we finished, we medaled and bumped, and we were in A2 that next year. But I mean, it was a fun show. The kids loved it. The audience loved it. So many people were like, oh my gosh, this is our favorite show this year. Oh, and P.S., we had a swing flag feature.
Yep. Because it was
And
all
I
new
also,
kids. But you know
it
what? It
was.
worked.
We had seventh graders. We had seventh graders competing with high schoolers on the same team. So, all right. So you're up.
I'm up. Okay. This one is another big one for me. So flag lines don't get any appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a weapon spinner. I was one of those natural talents. So I was always thrown into the weapon line, but flag is my favorite piece of equipment. I will always pick it up. If I go to somebody's rehearsal, it's probably the first thing I'm picking up is a flag and just spinning. And people just really crap on their flag lines. They're always in the back. They never get a moment. Everybody's watching the guns. And I get it. Seeing a six go up in the air and you got a double turn under it. I get it. But then the flags will come out and do some cool one-handed 45 and maybe catch on the ground or something like that. And people are like, yeah, but look at the guns over there. They're dancing while the flags are having their moment. Like, give the flags love, y'all. They deserve it. I was my third year of drum corps because I marched 2 years in a bad corps and then I marched 2 years at Cavies. I was on the flag line my first year. And talk about competitive trying to get into the weapon line in that guard. I mean, when I went to auditions, I mean, we had like 90 people show up for color guard auditions. And then when they said, okay, let's try out for rifle, like 60 of us went with guns. So I didn't make it the first year round. But I was on the flag line and I absolutely loved it. And anytime we had some sort of spin off and flag block, a flag line member always won. Put some respect on those flags.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And just as everybody knows my background, I grew up as a competitive baton twirler. So I started spinning flag and gun my freshman year of high school and then stopped because they didn't have a baton twirler. And I was like, oh, all right. So then the summer going into my sophomore year, I told my band director, I really want, like, would you ever consider having a baton twirler? And he was like, well, I have never had that before. What would that look like? And I was like, well, let me
You're like, let
audition
me
for
show
you.
you.
Yeah, let me audition for you. Oh, wait, I have my batons in my car. Please hold. So, yeah, so I was a baton twirler 10th, 11th, 12th grade. And then freshman year of college, I became an instructor. I was so inspired by the mentors that I had going through high school and learning about color guard and marching band from them. But it's really funny because I kind of taught myself color guard going through and learning like with my kids, and always practicing a little bit more. But flag was more for you. Remember when you and I were talking about saber? This was like a few years ago, and you're like, I'm surprised you didn't do saber because
That's
of
that's always the
yeah,
first instinct. These color
I
guard
know.
instructors like, we don't do batons. Here's a saber. Try this.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah.
And
So
they're
I
always the
really,
girls that are on the floor that throw the saber up and then do like a quadruple or quintuple turn under it
yep.
and catch it. And you're just like, I hate you. Like
Yeah.
here I am trying to get a double turn. And you're just like, oh, like this? Just toss it up in the air. 6 turns later.
Two turns in an illusion.
Yeah, right.
No, but I agree. Give me a pretty flag feature all day. Who was it? Vanguard? Wasn't it Vanguard that had that baller flag feature? What was it?
Oh,
Do you
yes. Like,
remember what I'm talking about?
was it
What was
like
that?
2019 or something or
I think it was
2017?
20. It was pre-COVID, wasn't it?
No, I remember. Yeah, they were in that diamond shape in the middle of the field with the court.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Oh, oh
Anybody
God, it was so good.
who knows drum corps and is listening knows exactly what we're talking about. So,
It was
and
just
there's that video of them doing it in like warm up.
yes.
Oh my goodness,
No,
yes.
no ticks, no nothing.
Nothing.
Layered. Oh, the layering in
And it's
that.
not
Oh,
easy work either.
no, it's not. And you sit there and you watch it and you think like this is insane. But yeah,
That
that's
yeah.
probably one of my favorite fly features of all time.
Yeah.
So good.
All right, so now we're gonna go a little extra petty, and this is totally up your alley. So it is your turn because you
Look,
complain about this every year, every show we would
every
go to.
show.
We should tell everybody what we're talking about, though.
Okay, let me tell you what we're let me tell you. Let me tell you. All right, as a director, I am working my hiney off all day. I was probably working my hiney off all night. When I get to a school, I'm sitting in a gym that is like a million degrees and I'm watching color guards. I need to leave the area to feel whole again and to collect my thoughts. While I'm collecting my thoughts in a nice room, I would love to be pampered with delicious food. It doesn't have to be anything over the top, but when you're giving me options of bags and chips with bottles of water, like we have to do better, friends. So here's
Now,
my
I'm going to
thought.
cut you off real quick because when
Yeah.
we were teaching together, every show we went to, we would go to director's hospitality and she'd be like, "Why is there no chocolate fountain? Is there a chocolate fountain?" Because we went to one
Mhm.
show that had one, and then that was
This
the
happens again.
standard. That was the gold standard. If
Mhm.
you did not have a chocolate fountain in your director's hospitality, you were trash.
Well, and then we hosted champion or we hosted two shows together. Do you remember that? So we
Mhm.
hosted two shows, and in our director's hospitality, we had chocolate fountains. You better believe I hopped on Amazon. I even went to a party store. We had two. I went to a party store and bought a dang chocolate fountain. So that way we had one and it was amazing and everybody talked about it. And I remember people putting their potato chips in the chocolate fountain. I was like, well, that's genius. Like learn something new today.
Yeah.
Like the sweet and salty. I don't remember who did that, but it was delicious.
But yeah, that's
But
Stephanie's like biggest pet peeve. Anytime
biggest
you show up, we check in, we get our wristbands, and she's like, "Where's
mhm.
director's hospitality? They better have a chocolate fountain. It better not be. It better be bougie. It better not be crappy. I'm gonna be mad."
Also, can we start normalizing and I keep saying this and I joke about it, but I actually think it would be a really good fundraiser. Okay, it is in the middle of winter. We're all carrying coats. Can we normalize a coat check? I would happily pay $1 to check my coat. Like
Absolutely.
think about like 50 to 100 coats. I also don't want to carry my coat in a hot gym. Like, and I
Yeah,
also don't necessarily want to leave it in the auditorium with all the kids stuff. Like you have
I've
tons of
left my
people.
jacket before once when I was teaching
Yeah.
at a school, and I left it, and then the girls took it to school and were wearing it. Yes, coat check,
Yeah.
and yeah, you
Coat
charge
check.
a
It's a
dollar a
fundraiser.
coat. I guarantee you, every instructor will be like, "Here, take it." I mean, that's an
Yep.
easy $100 you can make for your band.
But if we can just have a solid director's hospitality, again, it doesn't have to be, I don't need like catering from like a bougie restaurant. Get your parents together, throw a delicious potluck. Doesn't have to be anything amazing, but if you could just come in hot with some macaroni and cheese and some buffalo chicken dip, I'm cool with it.
And a chocolate fountain.
And a chocolate fountain or chocolate cake, one or the other.
All right, let's
Ah.
stop talking about food because I'm getting hungry.
Okay, I'm getting hungry
Moving
too.
on. So we both had this one on our list, and we've kind of touched on it already. But swing flags. So we are pro swing flag. We are not anti swing flag. But if you are doing swing flags, there must be two. Yes, we all know that there are two. Yes, we know you have one tucked away, and yes, it's fine. The surprise is still great. I love the moment when the band gets loud or the music gets loud and they both open up, and I'm like, "Yay, swing flags!" If you have one, you are no longer allowed to teach color guard. Get
It's just
get off the field. A single swing flag does nothing for me, and it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Give them a
I
second one.
Yes, I agree. And there's no like when the music is climaxing, like your one is just like womp womp. There was no visual climax with that at all. I also I my band director jokes around with me all the time. He's like, "Can we do wings this year?" No, no, we cannot. Unless I am doing a show about a phoenix rising from the ashes, I'm still having two flags. Wings cut you off. You cannot do anything with them. They are dumb. I am sorry if I'm hurting someone's feelings. I just can't do it. It's like having one swing plug. Can't do it.
And if you
It's
don't know
against
what
my
she's
religion.
talking about, it's like one giant swing flag with two poles, and you hold them behind your back so it looks like wings when you're holding the
You look like a
sticks out.
bird.
You look like a bird, a silver lame bird, because they're always silver lame for some reason. Um,
Or that like white iridescent.
yes.
Yeah.
And you,
Hmm.
like you said, you can't do anything with them because the material is behind you. All you can do is raise your arms up and down like a bird, and you look like an idiot. It's like, okay, well,
Yep.
I've completely done everything I can do for 16 counts, and you're telling me I have 64 more to do? Yeah, no, just
Yeah.
separate it into two flags. You can do way more with
Here, you can borrow my scissors.
it.
Um, okay. Can we move on? Are we good?
Yeah, let's move on.
All right, costuming. If you, as a director, would not wear it, please do not put your kids in it. I I understand that we have this like vision of this costume, but one size does not fit all here. And you want to make sure that your students feel really good and comfortable. Color guard, let's be honest, it's not the coolest thing in a lot of schools. And so when we put our performers out there, we want them to feel really awesome and empowered and like, I'm going to drop it, but we want them to feel like badasses.
Yes. And to kind of follow up with that, find matching uniforms. I get so annoyed when I see you have one boy, in your guard, and the girls are in these cool, I don't know, we'll say like aqua blue flowy dresses or whatever. And they just find these standard pair of black Walmart button up pants and then maybe an aqua blue polo, and it's never the same shade. It's always different. Get this boy a real uniform. Find a
Yeah.
matching uniform because he already stands out being the only one. And then you put him in Walmart wear when they're wearing these fancy, made by whoever, Wish Come True or whoever is making your costume, Dance Sophisticates. When you're planning, have an alternative, find something to do because it drives me crazy when it's an afterthought.
But also, can we talk about marching band uniforms too for a second?
Those ugly stock tunics and pants that are 3 sizes too big that everybody wears and
Okay.
the colors never coordinate. Yeah.
Yes. Well, and you and I talk about this all the time. Like we get it. Like if you don't have, but you and I have worked at a school where we did not have the budget at all, but we always got creative and made it work.
We did Old
But
Navy costumes one year. Remember, I made circle
yeah.
skirts and we got like
Yep.
a red, like a red women's polo for all the
Yeah.
girls for like $12 a piece. And then I
Yeah.
made
It
I
was
made the
awesome.
circle skirts. Like,
Yeah. But like I get budget, but please don't put your marching band color guard in the same uniform that also mimics what the marching band is wearing. Try your hardest to do thematic costumes. Again, I know that we don't always have the budget, but there are so many online platforms now on Facebook or like in Facebook groups that we're all selling things for like super cheap or renting them out.
yeah, or
Um,
guard closet, any consignment
mhm.
shop like that where you can get uniforms stupid cheap.
Exactly, exactly. So hop on Facebook, look at those groups and just try to find something for or reach out to a color guard and ask them to start looking for you. Like we always do that too.
Moving on, we're kind of bouncing around here. So next on the list I have is we've kind of talked about this before, but boys only on gun and they can't spin a flag.
Hmm.
Um, and I get it, when you get a boy and you want to keep him because let's be real, it is more of a dancey kind of feminine sport. I'll just say that. It's color guard. You're dancing around spinning a flag. It's in the ballet world. It's not football, basketball. And
Hmm.
I've taught numerous boys, and some of them really struggled. Dealing with oh, what are they going to think of me? This and that. I'm like, who cares? If you like it, do it. But the teasing is there, whatever. So I get it. Flag can be too girly or too dainty or whatever, but you need to get over that.
Yeah.
You bring a boy in and they immediately throw a gun in his hand and they're like, learn how to spin this, and then he can't spin a flag.
Yep.
Like, and it's just I feel like flag is the base core piece of equipment for our sport. Everybody should know how to spin it. You can't have a
Yeah.
flag feature and then have your one boy who's already sticking out, and then you have to sit him in the corner because he can't spin a flag.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Uh,
teach your boys how to spin a flag, please, please.
100%, 100%. Can we talk about air blades?
Why? They're
Right.
they're awful.
100%. You know what? Okay.
Do you
The
remember the
only,
Airblade craze? What was it, like 2003, four maybe, or something like that?
yes.
Have
Well,
you ever spun an Airblade?
Yes.
Yeah, they're awful to spin. They weigh
It's
like 40 pounds. I mean,
awful.
they're awful to spin. I'm like, why would you do
What do you
this?
do? What do you do with it?
I mean, the only thing, because, and it's always, I'm going to sound so hateful saying this, but it's always the bad guards that are spinning them.
Yes. It's like they got air blades for like
There,
$2 a
there's a
piece.
reason Pride of Cincinnati, Avon, Carmel are not spinning air blades. There's a reason,
Don't do
right?
it to yourself.
Just don't do it. They're heavy, they're awkward, they're expensive, and
Yep.
you can't do anything with them because they are so heavy and bulky. Like, yeah, you
Yeah.
could stick your hand in it and kind of spin it around like you would a hula hoop, but okay, there's
Then do a hula hoop.
there's four counts. What else are you gonna do with it? I mean, I remember I spun one and I tried to throw a triple on it, and I was like, Jesus, this thing
You
is
can't.
heavy. It's
Yeah,
so hard.
it is. It's so hard. It's so hard. And I can't with them. The only time I've ever seen it done really well was when TJ High School did it and it worked because it was a spider show. Other than that, don't do it. I love you guys. Just don't do, just don't.
Just
It's
yet
like
no.
having one swing flag. Don't do it.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
say
thinking
no.
about air blades. No, no,
No,
just
just say no.
just say no. That's right. All right, my next one, we're getting near the end of the list here, but my next one, this one drives me bananas too, and that is guards that toss every 4 counts. It drives me crazy. Spin the equipment. There's more to do than just toss. And I remember there was a Texas school that I was watching on Flow Marching a few years ago. They had like a 64 count flag feature. Like I went back and rewatched this because I was just mind blown by it. It was maybe 64 counts. They had 19 tosses, releases in this flag feature. That's like one every 3 counts. It was absolutely insane
Those
because
kids are probably dead tired after.
and I'm just like, why? Like, I mean, it may have been a little bit longer than 64 counts, but it wasn't much. But I mean, I literally counted 19 tosses. And, maybe it was an A B group, the A's were tossing and then the B's tossed. And it's just like, all you're doing is tossing it in the air. And that's not counting how many drops they had. So it's
Mhm.
just like, spin the equipment. I don't need you to toss every 4 counts.
Yeah.
There's more to do than tossing. And I know there are a few judges out there that are going to be screaming at the podcast, yes, because I've gotten their tapes before. And not that my guards did this, but they've made comments about, thank you for spinning your equipment.
Yes.
So it's just, it's like, okay, I get, I, I hear you. I smell what you're stepping in. I get what you're putting down. So
Yeah.
yeah, use it's writing to be effective, not writing to just cram in vocabulary points, or
And also remember your kids.
Yeah,
Remember who you're
exactly.
spinning for.
I
Yeah.
mean, I will say the Texas guard that I saw was a solid group. Like the kids had the ability, but it's just, it wasn't overwritten. It was just written poorly. Like I just
Yeah.
like, why do you need all these tosses? Why?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't like sitting there like, wow, yes, yes, because you'll see these features where they do like a smaller toss into a medium toss into a big toss. And that's a
Mhm.
cool moment. I get it.
Yeah.
But I don't need 19 tosses in a span of like 5/16.
Yeah. And when you're doing 19 tosses, you're probably just catching them one way too. If you give me 2 or 3, just make it interesting
Yep.
on the catch. Like that's going to win us more points. Um, Hair and makeup. Okay, can we talk about this? Like, and I'll make this real quick, but sweet baby Jesus. I'm going back to regional A. Okay. You have a regional A color guard that's just starting out. They are doing all the things that you and I have said not to do during this podcast, right? So they are
They're
trying to
trying to
go.
be in an open guard. Yep.
Yep, they're trying to be an open class color guard. There are ticks all over the floor. Drops left and right. They probably have air blades
And
and one
wings.
swing and wings and one swing flag. But I'll tell you what, they know how to do their hair, and they've done a ton of research on how to make scary eye makeup. And if we had just put a little more attention into our show and not into our hair and our makeup, yes, do I want you to look great? Absolutely. But that's why my kids will always be like, Collins, can we do like really elaborate makeup? And like, can we? No, you cannot. No, you are going to do you're going to either do a ballet bun, or we're going to do a super easy hairstyle that I'm going to find you on Pinterest or on Google. We're going to do that. And you're going to do, most of the time I do like a nude a nude show makeup. So nothing really crazy. Because at the end of the day, I want my kids to be focused on what their performance should be and not how long did it take them to do their makeup. Like if we're sitting here doing 30 minutes is too long for us to do makeup. So it's just, yeah, that's my pet peeve right there. Just
Some
you don't
eyeshadow, maybe a
you
little glitter, little
yep,
glitter, not these guards
like
that
a
put on,
shimmer, like
right,
a
not
shimmer.
these guards that coat themselves in glitter and then they leave that crap everywhere they go. It's like Hansel and Gretel
Mhm.
with the breadcrumbs. You're like, oh, I know
Yep.
where that school is. They're going that way.
Yeah.
And some
Except,
nice shiny lip gloss because it makes your
yeah.
lips look wet and it helps you breathe.
Hmm.
I've learned a few tricks along the way, but if you use super shiny lip gloss, it really
Yeah.
just helps. So,
Stick to the natural. It's okay. Like they're not really judging you for that.
no, they're judging what you're doing on the floor, not how you look.
100%. 100%. They just don't look like garbage though when you get on the floor. All right. What do you got?
um,
Kids showing up. Oh,
oh yeah,
this is a good one.
this is a good one. Yeah. So another pet peeve of mine: kids showing up to auditions only knowing how to do tricks and can't do basics.
Hmm.
So I sadly failed at starting an independent guard in the area due to financial issues. I mean, because color guard is crazy expensive, and this is a whole different conversation. But I needed like $30,000 alone for gym space, and that's really what killed my color guard. But I had some kids show up to auditions that talented spinners and could do all these cool tricks, and I'm like, okay, let's work on I'm going to teach you our drop spin exercise and our cones exercise that we're going to do. And I have a very complicated cones exercise, that helps build technique and muscle. And they couldn't get through it. But they're over here. Look at this cute towels. Look at this cute. Learn how to spin your equipment. Teach your kids how to spin the equipment. Don't focus on the tricks. It's like Susie, it's great you can do a forward roll under a toss, but you're out of time in drop spin. You're up when everybody's down.
Yeah.
You've been spinning for 4 years. How can you not do drop spins? Drives me crazy. Or
Yeah.
when you're at rehearsal and they want to just do the tricks. I'm like, why don't you learn how to do, your 4 count toss first? Why don't you learn how to do your pull hit toss or your horizontal, or that one-handed 45 that all your friends can do that you can't do yet?
Yeah.
Why don't
And
you
I
work on
still
that?
have, yeah. And I have in my program, I don't have a lot that do it now just because I have such a young program now. I graduated 8 seniors last year and it'll be interesting to see what happens this year just because my JV team from last year is basically my varsity team and we don't have a JV team anymore. It's wild because I still have kids last year, my good kids that would just pop in and just start no warming up, no nothing. They would just start tossing fours and fives all over the place. And granted, like, yeah, some of them were catching them, but others weren't. But it's like you can't do the basics. Don't get out here and try to, toss a six or like do a toss with a turn under. Like, come on, get out of here.
And let's be
Uh
real, you lost a bunch of kids because they want to do air blade and you cut them. So,
this is true. This is true. They were like, "Can we do air blade? You're done. You're done. I'll go out with JV."
all right, we got a couple more.
Yeah, can we talk about the same? Okay, so I get like if you are comfortable as a designer, if you are comfortable in one genre. However, it's the groups that recycle their show from year to year to year. It's the same tone. I mean, like there was a
It's the
color
same
guard,
show, but in purple.
but I really love those color guards that do something different each year because not only is it fun for your kids, but you are developing, you are growing as a designer. You're getting out of your comfort zone, and that is so important as you are developing yourself and your design skills.
Yeah, and honestly, the problem with it is it happens a lot at the top, like in independent
Mhm.
world. You see groups like Onyx, they had that stretch of 6 years where it was the same show every single year. It's just, oh, now
Yeah.
they're in blue. Oh, now they're in purple. Oh, now they're
Yeah.
back in the black unitards. And it's just like, I need something new. Like this is boring, try something new, I mean, I get it when you find something that works and you feel like you found your voice and it resonates well with the judges, you kind of want to repeat that,
Yeah.
especially at these hyper competitive levels, like the top of world class. But
Hmm.
I wish the judges could do something about it because I would love to talk to judges like kind of off the record because I don't think they'd ever go on the record about this. But like, do you ever get tired of seeing, such and such card put out the same show every year and you can't say anything about it? Like,
Yeah.
but they have to judge what's in front of them. there was a conversation going around a long time ago on Facebook about possibly how could you reinvent WGI to, put some new energy into it. And somebody was like, treat it like the Met Gala where you give like classes a theme and they kind of run with that.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, like Independent World gets expanding horizons. You keep it kind of broad like that and just see what they come up with. You
Yeah.
know, Granted, you could never get away with it, but it was a cool idea of just trying to, shake up the meta for all my gamers out there. You shake up the meta of Colorguard because it's just you see the same stuff. And I feel like AMP has helped that. When they
Mhm.
came after COVID, they came out with the Joker show, and it was just like, this is such a breath of fresh air. It's
Yeah.
fun. I mean, you hear the crowd going bananas, and now you have Vox Artium as well that does similar shows. Kind of infusing life back into Color Guard, and it doesn't always have to be fun and crowd entertaining. I mean, like I said, Avon was my absolute favorite show last year, and it wasn't crowd entertaining, but it was just so well done. But it had ups and downs. Like it wasn't flat, and I think that's the problem with these artsy monotone shows. You're just like, where is this going? Can I get some sort of highs and lows and this and that, and
Yeah,
do
exactly.
something different, y'all. Do something different. Try something new.
Yeah. Yeah, because at the end of the day, like as you continue to do these shows, you're also recruiting every time you go to a show, you are
Yes.
recruiting you're trying to put your name out there so kids want to come and join your group. How are you going to do that? You
Yeah.
got to be entertaining. You have to stay relevant.
And
You
if you're
have
not a
to,
world or an open program, if you're just an Scholastic A guard trying to recruit from the middle school,
yeah,
those shows aren't going to do it for you. So.
yeah. And that's my bread and butter right there.
All right. So my last one is I get annoyed when people crap on lower tier drum corps and not considering it a
Mhm.
real experience. So my
Yeah.
personal story, I marched drum corps for 4 years. 2 years I was at Kiwanis Cavaliers. It was with a K out of Canada. We were terrible. We were a last place corps. So now there's world and open class. When it was Div 1, Div 2, and Div 3. My second year there, we lost to everybody. We literally came in dead last, all the Div 2 and Div 3 course. But I had such an amazing experience. I learned so much, especially my first year. I'd only been doing true color guard for about a year because my high school color guard was really bad. It was kind of taught by the members. And, one of those guards, we spun 5 foot poles, no weights. We wrote our own work, and then my senior year, I was exposed to real color guard under Bob Nicholson. And then I went off to drum corps, came back throwing sixes on gun and 70 pounds lighter. Thank you, drum corps. Hashtag drum corps body. Uh, but you'll see people like, oh, I'm marching surf, and be like, you're marching surf. Like, okay, I get it. They're not the most successful corps, but it's still an amazing experience, and the kids learn
100%.
so much there. And it's just like we can't all march blue coats. We can't
Yep.
all march Boston.
Yep.
And
I
when
know
I was marching, it was Kiwanis and then Pioneer. I think Pioneer's still kicking around, but
they
it's
are.
just like, you know, their experience is just as valid as the people at Blue Coats or Boston. They're still putting in the same hours, working just as hard. They don't have the staff, they don't have the talent, but they're still working hard.
Yep.
So once again,
No,
put some respect on those people.
no, I absolutely agree. And like we have my one tech who went and did what was it, Memphis Blues this year. Who did he march for? Not Tennessee. It was a group in Tennessee, but yeah, it was a 3 week tour. It got their feet wet. And he had an amazing time. He had so much fun. And also like a financial thing too. Like if you don't have thousands and thousands of dollars to go March for,
Drum
this
corps
at
is
least
so
gives you.
expensive.
Yeah,
My
right. Well, and
God.
we have our one student right now I told her like you need to go March for this summer. I think it'd be really great for you. Go to this core. It's a 3 week tour, a lot less. And also like her parents will probably be more willing to say yes to
Yeah.
going for 3 weeks versus going for what, 5 or 6.
Oh no, it's longer than that. You move
I
some of these corps
can't
move in
remember
around
how long.
Memorial Day and then you're done
That's
in
true.
August. So I
Yeah,
mean you're
that's
talking
months.
12-ish weeks.
Yeah. So think about that. Like, yeah, I agree with you. Don't dump on these cores because either way, no matter what, I mean, and it's like dumping on regional A. You can't dump on regional A. We can dump on them for making poor choices, but you can do a good job as 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 a regional A group that's doing well and that's trying their best and that's trying to succeed. Like you can't do that. Again, these kids are just trying to go out there and get a good experience and
And
attain
everybody has to start
responsibly.
somewhere. Everybody
Yeah,
has to start somewhere.
exactly. Exactly. My last food for thought, figure out your kids' needs and not your agenda. This goes for everything. Mainly, it's going for work. And when you're getting ready to go to a show, you're getting ready to like whatever it is that your kids need in that moment versus your agenda. At the end of the day, it is not about you. It's about your kids and what they are doing. I always tell my kids, I always joke around and I say, at the end of the day, I can easily take my name off what the announcer says, like and performing their show directed by Stephanie Collins. I can have my name removed. Like that's not a big that's this is at the end of the day, it's on you. Again, it comes down to what are my kids' needs so that way they can be successful on the field. It's not, it's or in the gym. Sorry, that's like my word salad, but yeah, just
No,
what
I
are
I
your
get
kids'
it. Yeah,
needs?
because you feel like sometimes when you get to shows, the staffs are kind of more interested in showboating around, like, oh look, I'm here. Look who's here. It's me. The party's
Mhm.
here, and it's like, your kids are half dressed, and you go into warm up in 2 minutes. Like, you might want to focus on that, or it's almost like the ego thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, ma'am, you're teaching a regional A guard in Northern Virginia. We have no impact on the sport, really. Like, let's bring it down a level.
Yeah.
Teach these kids how to be great spinners. Teach these kids how to be good performers. Give them a great experience. Stop worrying about these other things.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you've been teaching for a million years, it's not every year is not going to be the same. So you just again, this is about your kids and making sure that your kids have a really good experience throughout high school and throughout their marching career. So just make it
Yeah.
about them, not about
Yep.
yourself.
Yep.
Unless you're us.
Right.
Totally
We
kidding.
always
Totally.
dressed up for our kids, but we always let them kind of have input. We would dress so ridiculous for competitions, y'all. We would have a theme. And we even got other instructors from other groups starting to join our theme. Like one year at championships, we did a touch of pink, and like so many
Mhm.
people just wore just like a splash of pink to show, circuit unity and things like that. And
Yeah.
just, we always dressed up for our kids. We didn't show up in yoga pants and a hoodie. That drives
We,
me crazy seeing. I'm going to add to this list right now. The instructors that show up at competitions looking like they're going to Walmart at 3 in the morning to get a tub of ice cream. Show up for your
Eric, you're
kids.
gonna you're gonna murder me.
No, because I know you do this. You show up in Crocs and curlers. I know you do now. You can still show
Uh,
up for your kids. You can still put the kids focus first, but I really feel like the kids are performing. It's a big moment for them, especially if you're a newer guard. Take some pride in your group. Like, I'm not saying you need to be in a tux or, like some bougie prom dress, but like, look, I care about you. I'm looking good because I'm here for you all. We're
yeah,
going to look good together. You guys look good in your uniform. I'm going to look good like this. It bothers me when I see these instructors that, they're skulking around in, this hoodie and sweatpants as they're bringing their guard on the floor. Like they look like they don't even want to be there.
yeah,
I'm like, your kids are watching you right now. Like, this is how you're representing your group, so
yeah.
put
No,
in
I
some
totally
effort. So.
totally agree. Totally agree.
But I think we've complained enough. So if you agree with any of our comments, disagree, or you think you have your own that pet peeves that we've missed, please let us know over on Instagram and Blue Sky. Let us know if we missed anything that drives you absolutely crazy. And Steph, thank you so much for joining me today. It was a lot of fun. So I've been asking everybody, that's been on, what was your favorite guard show of 2024?
I mean, Avon, like it was just first of all, real fast that song that they did because I was following that girl, the singer. I cannot remember what her name is, but I was
Emma
following her.
Cook.
Yes, I was following her on Instagram for forever. But like when she was starting to come out with that song and that performance, and then Avon did it, and I was like, okay, okay. I mean, it was just so beautiful and it was just so inspiring. And you talk about like just what really good color guard is. I mean, get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here. It was so
Exquisite.
good. It
So.
really was like color guard at its finest.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks for listening, everyone. We will catch you in 2 weeks with our next episode, talking about who knows what. So until then, stay safe and stay fabulous. Bye.
Bye, everybody.